You know, I was thinking about this the other day. If everything goes according to plan, if everything lines up the way it's supposed to, and if Microsoft and Xbox can get their ducks in a row, we could be seeing probably one of the biggest comebacks in video game history, period. Now look, I'm not being hyperbolic about this, trust me, I promise. The thing is, we have been witnessing what's been happening with Microsoft and Xbox for the past few years, and more recently, what's been happening with Windows specifically. People really don't like Windows 11, myself included, and many other users are in fact looking for other places to go, namely Linux. With options like Bazzite, Catchy, and even SteamOS coming around the pipeline very soon for desktop users, we are watching actual proper competition in the operating system space move forward and be better for gamers overall, removing the AI, getting rid of the bloat, the telemetry, the garbage, everything that makes Windows a drag to use. And the funniest part about this, I think Microsoft has been getting their ducks in a row to finally fix those issues, not only because of Project Helix coming out relatively soon, probably within the next year, but also because Steam and Linux themselves have been encroaching onto the spaces that Microsoft has dominated for quite some time. Little old Linux, a free open software system, running in and encroaching onto the enterprise scene and also the gaming scene as well. Remember, Microsoft dropped Windows 10 support, and a huge user base on Steam still use Windows 10. A veritable bevy of people ready to jump ship to Catchy OS or even SteamOS that Microsoft could lose right off the board. But the reality is this: there are two specific through lines that are connecting everything together as to why Microsoft is making a massive play, not only against PlayStation and Nintendo, but also against Valve, Steam, and SteamOS. Here's the first one. Project Helix. This is a PC console hybrid that's supposed to be using Windows as its actual base, and a lot of console gamers do not want to deal with the bloat, the extra programs, and all the updates that are happening on Windows right now. That was one of the big issues with the Xbox ROG Ally X review, where so many reviewers were saying they were stuck updating inconsequential apps that didn't need to be updated, things like Microsoft Teams or Outlook or anything else like that, and that causes a big problem for a lot of casual gamers and users that just simply don't know how to right-click something and then click uninstall. I guess that's too much for some people. I don't know. The second thing that is causing this to happen is the fact that Microsoft is now redoing everything of what's been going on with their AI structure. We've been seeing really small, intricate pieces happen where Microsoft is removing specific Copilot icons, making AI less of a massive focus, and pulling back a lot of the decisions they made because they were trying to push AI to the forefront. It could be that the bubble is popping, or it could also be that the fact that nobody really uses Copilot and Satya Nadella is not really doing the right thing that's best for the actual user overall, and feedback has not been great, and also people don't like Copilot, and Microsoft has a lot of work to do on that space as well. Yikes. So if Microsoft sees what's going to happen in the future and they're trying to double down and guarantee actual revenue coming back into the company and not having a user base being lost to an open source software like Linux, we are literally witnessing the very beginning of what I would be calling the platform wars, which is exactly what people are not in fact expecting to happen right now. And if you want even more cleaner insight as to why Microsoft may be scrambling, check this out. According to Insider Gaming, Xbox revenue falls in latest Microsoft earnings report, with Tom Warren tweeting this: Microsoft's Q3 2026 fiscal earnings. Windows and OEM devices revenue down 2%. Gaming revenue down 7%. Xbox content and services revenue down 5%. Xbox hardware revenue down 33%. There's a couple of things I want you guys to look at when seeing this tweet by Tom Warren, and it's not the Xbox hardware revenue being down by 55%. Even though that seems incredibly shocking, what you're seeing is that decrease happen over time after these past 6 years. The points that I want you guys to look at are going to be this: the Windows OEM devices revenue down 2%. 8%, gaming revenue down 7%, and the Xbox content and services revenue down being 5%. And you're saying to yourself, Alex, those are single-digit percentage points. Why would this be a massive problem overall compared to the Xbox hardware being down? Well, here's the kicker. Windows OEM and device revenue is massive for Microsoft. Think about it this way. They don't want to lose any share whatsoever in their operating system. Your OEM, your Windows device, they want to make sure that every PC comes with Windows, not Linux, not Bazzite, not Catchy, and definitely not SteamOS. Any reduction in their actual OEM pipeline or device revenue is not a good thing overall, especially on the PC side. On top of that, gaming revenue as well, meaning they're getting their kicked out of them, not only by the other consoles in this space, but also by Steam as well, and GOG, not providing proper services for their users. Even Asha Sharma's letter to Xbox stated itself that they do not have enough of a presence inside of PC, and that is a major factor for them as well. And finally, Xbox content and services revenue being down 5%. That is huge. They want you to sign up for Game Pass. They want you to be part of their content, being in that pipeline. So they definitely need to learn how to compete with what's going on in the space. And compete, they absolutely shall, because it looks like what they're trying to do is rally all the troops together so that way everybody is under one kind of banner. According to Windows Central Gaming, Xbox is back and Microsoft Gaming is officially dead. In the latest push to restore the brand's identity, employees are finally ditching their generic @Microsoft.com emails for @Xbox.com and @Mojang.com for the Minecraft team. It sounds like a small change, but it's a huge signal for Team Green. I'm gonna be real with you, dropping the Microsoft Gaming nomenclature is probably the best decision they've ever actually made. As someone who actually understood and liked the Everything is an Xbox campaign, I know I'm like the only one who did. Figure it out. Putting everything with Microsoft Gaming sterilizes it. It provides no edge, no actual clarity, and it makes it feel incredibly corporatized. And that is what people don't want. People want to feel like they're part of a team, something that's rambunctious, rebellious, and new. Basically, in my opinion, Xbox is doing what I said they should have been doing for a long time. Bring back their 2000s white boy energy, drinking Code Red Mountain Dew, and listening to Limp Bizkit's $3 bill, y'all. And if they pull this off, it would be a huge victory overall. And it's something simple like, oh, changing an email address. Why would this be important, Alex? Well, it basically shows that Microsoft is not going to have their hands inside of what Asha Sharma is trying to do. And it looks like what's been happening now is that Satya Nadella no longer has proper control over Xbox, which makes everybody else kind of think about, hey, maybe we are on the same team now. Maybe we are on the same page. Maybe we're not sequestered to the side while Microsoft makes all the rules, like a 30% profit return on every single thing that we have online, and probably also having a better marketing team in general for this brand. And that could be a huge victory. But the thing is, though, it's not just emails, it's not just and .coms, it's also not the fact that they're losing revenue and having to change strategies. It's also how Microsoft is now working with developers. Because according to Hasador Gaming, Xbox launches Game Package Manager that makes it easier for developers to publish on Xbox platform, replaces Microsoft Partner Central module for, quote, packages. If you want to talk about competition, honey, this is it. How many times have we seen news articles and games skipping the Xbox platform? And I've talked about it before, saying how, hey, it could be the fact that they're using specific backwards compatibility with previous generation of consoles, or the fact that just Microsoft doesn't communicate with developers at all, and it makes it more difficult for games to be on that platform. Well, this could be the fix that everybody has been looking for. Now we're seeing actual true competition come in and make things better, not only for the users, for the gamers, and also for developers as well, creating more cohesion inside of Microsoft, giving the reins to Asha, and also seeing that there could be a ton of revenue that is being left on the table if they don't change strategies immediately. And it's really interesting watching a massive trillion-dollar corporation, multi-trillion dollar corporation take these kinds of steps so quickly, especially after Asha Sharma walked into the building. This could be one of the bigger strategies that people are in fact overlooking and missing. If you have a better way of putting your games not only onto PC, not only onto the Xbox PC app, and also onto the actual Project Helix and the Xbox ROG Ally X, or even mobile phones with the Xbox app, which apparently is still in production, I'm not really entirely sure to be honest, then you truly are giving proper competition to the user, giving them better choice, better availability, and also more games to play, without having to choose what system, what platform, or which storefront to get their games on, because if everything is put into one place and it actually provides proper usage for the user, then we could be seeing actual competition against the one monopoly that everybody actually wants. And that's Steam. And I know everybody's like, Alex, you talk about Steam and Valve in every video. Why do you keep bringing them up? I don't know. They're probably coming out with some of the most hyped actual pieces of hardware that people really actually want to get their hands on and enjoy ever since the Steam Deck in 2022. They're also walking around and doing great things for the customer and consumer. They're being called a monopoly. They're being sued left and right. Everything's happening across the board. States are suing them. Countries are suing them. Things are happening all over the place. They beat the Rothschilds in court, and now they're being called a monopoly, even though they have no monopolistic practices. Oh, let's not forget the entire thing with payment processors and even censorship. So there's a whole bunch of stuff happening with Valve and Steam, so that's probably why I keep talking about them. But the reality of what's been going on is that Valve has been ubiquitous with PC gaming, the space that Microsoft had to flee from because they truly didn't know what in fact they were doing, creating things like Games for Windows Live, trying to charge PC gamers a monthly service fee to access online games. Remember that? Yeah, that was a whole thing that people really forgot back then, but it actually happened, even though PC gamers told them no, and they literally backed off. So, you know, keep telling companies no. According to WCCF Tech, Microsoft wants to bring Steam OS level of gaming performance to Windows 11 while cutting back AI bloat with the K2 project. Oh, yes! I really hope that people at Xbox have been watching my videos when I critique them about what they're doing wrong with PC gaming and what Project Helix could in fact be in this space, and what Xbox and Microsoft truly have to work on to make things better for the user. Now they have actual proper competition. I'm not talking about competition because of my exclusive games. No, we're talking about true competition. Another brand, another company, an open source operating system walking into their territory, enterprise, users, and even gaming, and literally starting to chomp away at the bit, small bites after small bites, which is basically, I mean, that's how you eat a horse, one bite at a time. I'm old, I know. With the article from WCCF Tech saying this: the software giant is working to regain the trust of its Windows OS users with a new project called K2. Windows Central reports that this new project is expected to address some of the biggest complaints that are associated with Windows 11. These include cutting back the AI features, reducing bloat, and overall improving the performance and stability. K2 marks a fundamental shift in how Microsoft works on Windows OS. Internally, Microsoft has also discovered some critical areas where they lag behind the competition in terms of performance. These include applications such as File Explorer and games. The company rolled out various updates, but despite that, benchmarks have shown Windows 10 to be faster than Windows 11. Microsoft wants to offer Steam OS-like or better gaming performance. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex, why do you keep talking about Steam and Valve? I don't know, because that one little 300-person company is the one going around and literally bullying a $4 trillion company to go ahead and finally fix their operating system. Who could have actually imagined anything like this happening? A 6x6 little cube is exactly what's causing the entire gaming industry to panic across every aspect that you've ever actually seen. It's got people so scared and shook that PlayStation is rumored to be pulling the games away from PC. Microsoft is now fixing Windows 11. And even at that case, everybody's looking at Linux like, hey, you know what? There's no AI there. I might as well go check that out. And that shit's free? Shit, boy. I might look at that in a whole different light of space. Seeing Microsoft and Windows remove the Microsoft gaming tag, bringing their edge back to Xbox, and at the same time saying, you know what? We're going to fix Windows is exactly what has to happen. Now you're looking at people saying, hold on, I could have a better gaming experience on Windows than it would on Linux and SteamOS, which would force Steam and Proton and Linux to get better on their end, which would make Microsoft make Windows better on their end. And then everybody finally has proper competition in what OS they want to drive and what platform they actually want to put their games into. This is true direct competition between actual juggernauts in the gaming space. We're not talking about exclusive content being locked away by a $700 to $900 console. No, we're talking about proper competition. Oh, Valve is walking into our territory now and pulling away our users? No, we can't have that. We got to beat them at their own game to keep our users on our platform. And that is exactly what real competition is. Not locking away content, but making it better for the user overall. In fact, here is how Xbox is going to do it. With the article continuing by saying this, gamers are a key part of the Windows 11 ecosystem, and for this, Microsoft said to view SteamOS as the benchmark. Microsoft is working to optimize the performance to match the same levels as SteamOS, and has internally estimated to outperform the OS within 2 years. The aforementioned File Explorer update will also deliver big improvements, offering a speedier file navigation interface versus the existing clunky design. Windows Update will also require a restart once every month rather than every time a new update lands. Another cool feature the K2 is expected to give users is the ability to only select critical hardware drivers for installation, leaving out Microsoft updates. Memory usage is also expected to see a drop as the company aims to reduce additional bloat from the OS. AI features are also going to be cut off in a major way. Microsoft recently released a new update to its preview channel, which allowed the addition of AI agents to the Windows 11 taskbar. While these may be useful for AI tasks, the vast majority of general PC users don't require such features, and they take up valuable resources. Okay, all right, that is incredibly wild. They think they're going to beat SteamOS within 2 years of performance. I need to see that in actual testing before any of this in fact happens. And I might in fact just do that testing on my own for some PC port reviews. That would be interesting to really see, because we all know what happens right now. Linux and SteamOS basically use Proton as an emulation layer for Windows games. Some work, some don't, depending on the actual version of Proton. And now Windows could in fact go through and fix all those issues. But we are seeing massive internal changes happening at Microsoft and providing correct competition. I truly want to see what else they can do. Having only critical updates is great, not forcing updates all the time. And one thing in particular, Microsoft, if you're going to fix anything, how about when you say update and shut down, the PC actually updates and shuts down, not update and then restarts. If you're going to do that, don't even ask me in the first place, by the way. Nice job. It's actually crazy, though, how a large majority of the things I've talked about on what gamers actually want out of Windows is exactly what Microsoft is doing. Hopefully, I got somebody watching the content. That'd be really nice. But they still need to do even more. Windows itself has not had the best track record the past few years. Its overindulgence on AI didn't really help its perception either. And of course, the amount of updates being pushed out with everything breaking, people unable to shut down their PCs, and having to wait for another update that was an emergency patch to be rolled out, all basically caused massive amounts of frustration. After Satya Nadella admitted to everybody that around 33% of all Windows code is written by AI, yeah, we can basically tell. That's pretty much what happens. How about this one, Microsoft and Xbox? Make everything a regular exe again. I don't need it as a web app on my desktop. I want it as an actual executable that is on my hard drive. And at the same time, how about get rid of OneDrive? If I save a file to my PC, I want it saved to my PC. I don't want it saved to a folder that's part of OneDrive that has to make me be online in order to access it, and then I don't know where the actual file is saved because you're saving it. No, my PC, not yours. And if Microsoft and Xbox can pull this off, if they can bring everything together, and they can find a proper way of truly competing in the operating system space, this only benefits everyone overall. This will make Project Helix a better console, a more performance system, and provide better usability for people who've never had or want to experience Windows after working 8 hours a day. They just want to click the button and play the game, even though you can do that on PC right now with Steam. Still, some people really have an aversion to left click, right click. It's actually really weird. I don't really get it. But anyways, whatever. We'll deviate on that another time. Microsoft is in a situation right now where they have to be very cautious with every step, but not only cautious, but also incredibly quick, because if they don't do it fast enough, it's going to impact Project Helix in a worse situation. If they don't do it right, it's going to make SteamOS and Linux look even better for more users. And they have to compete on multiple areas. This is not going to be an easy feat, seeing as how they've lost quite a bit of money in their revenue overall, especially with the last quarter financials. You see how I tied all that together? Just put it all together in one nice little package. Now you understand exactly what's going on. Man, I really like making these videos, man. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I hope you guys like them too. I'm just saying. What I'm going to be doing is simply this. I may in fact go ahead and upgrade to that K2 platform whenever it comes out, and then dual boot into SteamOS, and then actually have proper comparisons with actual PC ports between SteamOS on Linux and Windows 11 when that gets fixed as well. But hopefully things don't go south and Microsoft still stays on the proper trajectory into the right space, giving users exactly what they've been asking for rather than telling them what they think they want. And I think that is going to be the real trick overall. It looks like when proper competition is actually applied and other companies walk into a space, now with exclusivity, but with actual proper customer-focused decisions as the primary, then you get to truly see what a company does in the face of true competition. And that is infinitely better than trying to lock a video game behind a $700 paywall. Hopefully, though, Microsoft makes the right call and Steam gets proper competition back, and then we no longer see the entire meme of Steam being a monopoly, even though it's not. It's literally not a monopoly. But I would like to see proper competition in the PC space on the Xbox PC app compared to what Steam does as well. Maybe even then we'll get a more feature-rich Steam on top of that, and Xbox can finally grow in the PC space properly. Remember, everybody at Xbox, PC is not console. And if you don't put the customer and consumer first, we're going to let you know. But as always, I want to hear what you guys got to say about this in the comments section down below. Are you excited about these changes? Do you think Microsoft can actually pull this off? Or do you think Steam is going to steamroll the competition? Hey-oh, dad joke! Pow, 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 pow! Pow, pow. I'll see myself out. So yeah, let me know, like I said, in the comments section down below. And speaking about what you guys got to say, here in fact is the comment of the day from yesterday's video. With Fat Tony saying this, they seem to forget it's just a hobby. I can walk away. Tony, you're absolutely right. And the more companies that compete in this space for your time and your dollar gives you more opportunity to walk away. So these companies better shape up or ship out. But as always, if you guys want to see more of this kind of content though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and live streams, subscribe to the channel. If you want Discord access or emotes for those live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. Look, if you don't want to spend the buck, don't even sweat it. Just come on down to the stream Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live as I wear a banana suit and get insulted with text-to-speech. It's an actual insane show. Trust me. 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on the channel. Think of it like Sábado Gigante. You don't want to miss it. Oh, and if you want even more content from me, check out Oh No, It's Alex Gaming. Link to the channel is in the description down below. I upload a video every Monday and soon to be streaming there daily for a few hours as well, just playing some games and hanging out with this awesome community on top of that. Hope to see you guys there soon. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!